Hello and good morning, everybody. I'm Susan Johnson. Welcome to Agent Power Huddle. Hey, if you're logging on, I see several people logging on right now. Please turn your cameras on. I love to see you. Gives me energy. Hopefully it gives you energy, and love to have you participate with us. It's Mindset Monday, and I love Mindset Monday because this is the time that we just prepare your week. We launch you off to a highly energized and great mindset to launch and give you a very productive and powerful week ahead. So here we are in the holidays. Hopefully you all are still, moving and shaking with your businesses, getting ready to spend some wonderful time with your family and friends. And that's what it's all about. And today's topic is really about living happy. I felt like this was a great topic, especially for the holidays. And, I really think that this is the kind of topic that you don't often think, gosh, I've got to remind myself to be happy. It's not really about that. But we're going to dive into about 5 different tips that if you really focus and do these things throughout the entire year, you're going to actually not only increase your business, but just increase your life and your happiness in your life. And that's what we're going to be diving into today on Agent Power Huddle. So you can turn any of those cameras on. I'd love to see you. It really makes for a great interaction. And you feel free to come off mute anytime you want. We have people that come on live to the show here Monday through Friday from 8 to 8:30. We also have people that come back and listen to us on podcasts, that go on the YouTube. We're kind of all over the place. So if you do miss an episode, make sure you get on YouTube or you get on the podcast and you listen back, because there's so many valuable Agent Power Huddles. I listen to them all the time, so I can't encourage you enough. So today, if you were to live by one simple principle in life, I would suggest this is to actually just do what's going to make you happy. It sounds so easy, doesn't it? Seriously, because when you do what makes you happy, you're actually going to be attracting to you more things to be happy about. All right. Again, principle sounds so easy, and yet not a lot of people actually do it. The positive energy that you actually put out in the world, positive energy will actually come back to you. As you put that out, you're going to attract more people and more things that are going to make your life abundant and happy. So it would make sense then to eliminate all the other things, right? Everything that's negative, eliminate it all. I wish it was that easy too, but think about anytime a negative feeling comes up or anything like that. What can you replace it with that's going to help you feel joyful, abundant, happy, passionate, or even grateful and showing gratitude? These 5 tips I'm going to get into today. Again, if you're doing them on a consistent basis, they will transform your life. They literally will. I teach some of this when I teach business planning, because you need to get in that right mindset to even execute a business plan. So hopefully by now you've all done your business plans for 2025. And if you haven't, please make sure you put that on your schedule to get that business plan for 2020 in place, and make sure that you started out with, your mindset, because honestly, no great plan can be executed without that strong and powerful, abundant mindset. All right. The first thing we're going to talk about here is spending time with people that are good for your mental health. Number 1, again, good for your mental health. Well, what does that really mean? We'll dive deeper into this. The second lesson is to see the good and the blessing in everything. Easier said than done sometimes, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper into each one of these tips here. The third is to live life your way. Live life your way. Follow your gut intuition. Pay attention to that and do things your way without feeling guilty about it. All right. Fourth is to take good care of yourself. We're going to definitely get into a little bit of that today. Your physical, your mental, and yes, your spiritual well-being. Those are all areas that you need to pay attention to consistently in your life. And the fifth and final one is actually to believe, to trust, to let go sometimes. And for me, I always say, let God. That may or may not be for you, but believe, trust, let go, and let God after you've done everything else. All right. So let's dive deeper into these things here. The first time being to spend time with people who are good for your mental health. So by the way, you might see me looking down a little bit. Yes, I've got notes. And the reason I do is, if you know me well enough, I like to do things like kind of like visualize yourself sitting in a nice, around a fire pit, do like a fireside chat where we're just really authentically opening up. And so I jotted down certain notes to make sure we stay on course here, since we only have 30 minutes to go through all these kind of things. But that's what I want you to kind of visualize, that we're just so sort of sitting around a fire pit or fireplace and, having a cup of tea or a glass of wine or whatever it may be for you. And we are just talking, and we're talking about things that are going to enrich your life, about how 2025 could really transform for you when you really pay attention to, being happy in your life and doing what makes you happy. So number one, spending time with people who are good for your mental health. Well, you might want to be a little selective on who you're spending time with. It doesn't mean to say you don't go helping people that need your help. You do. But you got to be real cautious as to who's spending your time with. Are they consistently complaining? Are they, nothing ever works out for them, or, they're not coachable. So as much as you try to help them, they're not taking what you're saying and they're not implementing, and thereby they're sucking your time. Okay. Your time is the one thing, everybody. You can make all the money in the world. You can lose that money. You can get it back. But when it comes to time, that is something you cannot get back. So be very conscious of who you're spending your time with. And, people in your life should be reducing your stress, not increasing your stress. So, be a source of happiness. They should not be like a bunch of umbilical cords, just, vacuuming and sucking your energy out. That's not how it should be. So consider who you're spending time with. Those people that when you're around the right people, they're going to actually give you energy. They're going to actually motivate you. You're going to be motivating them. It's contagious. It goes both ways. So you need to first, though, think about this. If you don't have those kind of people in your life already, what do you do? What do you do about it? How do you attract those kind of people that are actually going to give, those kind of people that are going to spark that energy in you, those kind of people that you're going to say, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that person again because we had such a great talk. We had such a great connection. And how do you attract those kind of people? Well, it starts by you becoming that person. Who are you? Are you the person that you want to hang out with? Become the person that that has that energy. Become the person that is positive, that's not always sitting there being the negative Nellies all the time, but become the person you want most in your life, because you know what's going to happen? You're going to attract more people just like you. Yeah, I'm pausing purposely for a minute because everything starts within us. Everything starts within us. So this Mindset Monday, and as we launch forward and we go into the holidays, and, sometimes the holidays can be a big stress with everybody. People can have problems with their families and whatnot. Think about how are you showing up? How are you showing up for your clients, with your clients you're still working with? How are you showing up for your children, your spouse, your family? Because you know what, you're going to mirror back and receive how you're showing up. So spend time with people who are good for your mental health, but get in check about how you're showing up, because that's what's going to start the attraction. Am I losing my voice a little bit? Okay. Number 2 is see the good in everything. Now, can we see the good in everything? Well, we can do the best we can. All right. Not because everything is good all the time, but what we focus on expands. This is actually kind of funny because this happened to me just yesterday. And if any of you are on my Facebook page, you saw I did a little post about today's topic, because I do something called my annual holiday buy surprise for my clients. And it takes me a few weeks actually to get all these out. I don't have them all come to one place. I actually go to all the houses. And I know it takes some time, but you know what? I've been doing this almost 20 years. It's become such a tradition that my clients get excited and they're like, what is she dropping off this year? Because I do something fun, like in their yard, like a yard, our yard ornament or something that's different that they could add to their collection every year. So you can take that tip if you want to apply it in your own business. But what happened yesterday was, so I work 2 counties, actually. It's the Riverside. I work Riverside and I work San Diego County. So I was heading down to San Diego and to deliver my San Diego clients their holiday surprises. And what happens? I get a flat tire. So what a bummer, right? I didn't get to deliver my holiday surprise. In fact, not just flat tire. It was like a blowout. It was not good. Anyway, as I'm sitting on the side of the road, I thought to myself, they told me I had about an hour to wait. for the tow truck. And I'm going, okay. So that was a real bummer. I could have been focusing on what a bummer it was to not be able to get my deliveries done. Or I thought, I'm leading Agent Power Huddle tomorrow morning. But we focus on expand. So I'm going to focus on living happy. I'm going to focus on all the things that, all the people that have already commented and how grateful they are for the holiday surprises we've done so far. My San Diego people, if they're on my Facebook page, saw that I was heading their way. I didn't quite make it, but hopefully I'll get there in the next couple days. My point being is what we focus on expands. So, you want to try to see the good in things. That blow up could have ruined my day. Could have, I could have been all upset. I could have, but that's not the path I chose. See, you have choices. We can make choices on how we respond and we react to a situation. So it doesn't mean you run around sticking your head in the sand and we take care of things. Of course, I had to get the tow and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, we don't let it ruin our day. We don't take it out on our family, our spouse, and everybody else by being in such a bad mood because, oh my God, I got a flat tire. All right. So think about that. Think about, when things come up. And by the way, things come up all the time. In our businesses and our personal lives, we're having to dodge, move and shake all the time. But it's how you respond to what comes up, how you navigate these kind of challenges that come up in your life. And I encourage you to start seeing the good in things. So if something comes up, you're like, okay, I got it. I'm not going to ignore it. I got it. But you know what? At this moment, I'm going to focus here, so that my mindset and my attitude is still good, and then I'll handle that. You get the shift, get the difference. All right, what you can focus on expands. Remember that. Number 3, do it your way. Okay, this is your life. This is your life. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for living it your way. What do I mean by that? Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for being you, really. All right. We take on these feelings of guilt all the time. Like, oh my gosh, if I make this decision, I'm going to disappoint this person. If I make this decision, I'm going to disappoint that person. At the end of the day, live your life and be you. Because honestly, people's intentions are not really to judge you all the time. You may think they are. You may think everybody's judging you. But you know what? Really, they're worried about themselves. Stop worrying so much about that. What is the best decision for your life today that's going to either move your business, get you closer to your family, allow you to do things for your family, whatever it means? Be authentic to yourself. Do it your way. Okay? Do it your way. And I'm going to tell you something. Your real friends and the people who really support you will show up. They're going to show up. I don't care what brokerage you're in. I don't care whether you're on my team or somebody else's team. I've got friends in so many different brokerages because you know what? We're not about that. We're really about authentically caring for one another, but authentically helping each other with the growth of our businesses, about helping each other, and celebrating, the birth of our grandbabies or our children, or, that's what real support looks like. Okay. It's not, oh, she was with my brokerage. She's no longer with my brokerage. So you know what? I'm going to take to her anymore. Or I'm not going to talk to him anymore because he was with our group, but now he's not with our group. You get what I'm saying? I hope you do. So live life your way, do it your way, and find the people that are your tribe that are going to support you. And that may be in the same brokerage, that may not be in the same brokerage, whatever it means to you. Find your tribe. All right? Whatever it takes for you to be the best version of yourself, be authentic to that. Number four is taking care of yourself. Take care of yourself. There's a reason I'm doing this Agent Power Huddle today. Do you hear my voice? So sometimes my voice will start sounding like this after I'm talking a lot because I've been doing a lot of, not just training, but I've been meeting actually with a lot of agents, believe it or not, and it's really a compliment. Call me to meet with them one-on-one. And I don't care what brokers they are. Somebody calls me for a coffee appointment because they want me to help them with something. And there I show up. And that's what's been going on lately. And I love it. So anyway, take care of yourself. And the reason I'm saying that is even, I speak from experience. I do the best I can to eat well, try to exercise. I'm walking my own farms again. So that's like between 6 and 9 miles in a day. It feels great to do that. However, I did have a health scare a couple weeks ago, and I've got to get a procedure done this week. Scary to me, well, may not to everybody, but to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is something else. I really need to make sure I stay on top of with my health. All right. Take care of yourself. That's physically. What about reading positive transformational books, listening to podcasts, listening to, watching YouTube videos? I mean, if you will start to be addicted to these kind of things. Tristan Alamana, I love him. He was texting me and he's like, well, what book are you reading? And I'll tell him, which right now it's becoming, I'm becoming more, I'm sorry. But anyway, it's fun to hear what other people are doing and get some suggestions on that, because you never know what book you're going to pick up, what podcast you might listen to that you might go, aha, that's what I need. That's the help I need. Or, aha, it's motivating me to take it into another level. Ha, that's motivating me to spend more time with my family, or, or nurture more relationships in my industry or with friends. Take care of yourself. Okay. You are your greatest investment. Remember that. You are your greatest investment. So, what are you doing every day? What is your daily plan? When I teach business planning, by the way, I do a growth plan along with my business plan. My business plan for my business numbers. Then I have a growth plan goes along with it. That growth plan is talking about personal growth, spiritual growth. What is it going to take for me to get right here to get stronger and better, right? To be able to execute everywhere else, to give back more to the family. Have you thought about that? A growth plan along with your business plan. Most people don't have that growth plan. They're like, well, when I get to it, I'll do the, that kind of stuff. But right now it's all about the numbers. Numbers will show up when this all shows up too. Okay. Invest in your greatest asset, which is yourself. All right. Strong mind, strong body, strong spirit, strong life. Remember that. All right. The last number 5, might even wrap up a little early today, believe it or not, but number 5 is about believing, trusting, and letting go. Once you've done your growth plan, your business plan, you're executing on these, you know exactly, because you are focused where you're going and what you're doing. You're taking massive action on those steps, by the way. Not just action, massive action. Lean in. We've talked about it so many times. When business is starting to slow down, you don't go, my gosh, what's my next side gig? Do you? Well, some people do. Look at Facebook. No, that's the time that you stand up, you get the shoulder down, and you lean in, and you do more. You do more consistently. All right. So once you've done all that, though, then what? Well, then you've got to believe that you're going to get it. Do you deserve it? 100% you deserve it. Do you believe that, though? Nobody else in the world can believe it, but you're the one that really needs to believe it. All right? You need to decide what you want, and then you need to know and own the fact that it's going to show up. You're going to get it. You've got to believe that with every fiber of your being. You also should be living like you already have it, right? Live like you already have it, feel it to be yours. Step into that, that it's already there. Manifest that it's already there with you. Those results will show up. Not may show up, not might show up, will show up. Or feel that they have shown up. In fact, I like the business plan, but I also do something called your future self, which instead of it's a goal setting, it's more about we actually mentally put ourselves a year, 3 years, 5 years into the future. And we say, oh my gosh, my business was so successful because in the last year I accomplished. You see the difference? The last year I accomplished this. And this is, and what happened? And then we drill it down. What has to happen for that to happen? Well, I need X, Y, and Z. Okay, great. So now you see how it starts to come together. What has to have already taken place to get that result? So live as though you already have it. Feel it to be yours, and it soon will be. Right. So when you come from a mindset of, oh my God, I need this so bad. It's a scarcity. It's lack, it's scarcity. It's just, it's not a place to put your mind, because you're going to attract more of it. right? Expands. What you focus on expands. So we start really believing in the fact that you've got a great plan. You've got a great growth plan. You've got wonderful people around you. You're taking massive action. You're doing the steps you need. At some point, you have to, again, you believe that will take place. You've got to let go and say, okay, I know I'm doing the right steps. I know I'm taking the right actions. I know I've got the support. I've aligned it all up. And then for me, I always say, let God. God, I can plan as much as I can plan. At the end of the day, it's in your hands. You may agree with that or disagree with that, but either way, it will give you some peace too. All right. So it all comes together. I do this a lot, my visuals. You need to come together, see, to be able to move things forward. Life is abundant when you believe, you trust, you let go, and you let God. All right. So these are the kind of things, ends my notes, but these are the kind of things I just really want you to, to encourage you, because we are coming up to the end of the year. How did your year go? I'll be authentic. My year was okay. It did okay. It wasn't the standard that I like. Okay. I know a lot of agents that felt like that. Why was it? I did do a big shift in my business plan. And the nice thing about it is I know what I project, what I'm working on now. Like I said, in this whole Agent Power Huddle, I've forecasted forward, worked it backwards, know exactly how and what I'm doing to get there. Is that happening in your business? Do you need some extra help? Listen to these Agent Power Huddles, because there's so many great things to hear. You can't apply everything. So take time to listen to them. Pick and choose what makes you happy. All right. What really makes you happy? It's one of the big changes I made in my business this year that I knew wouldn't show up in 2024, but I know will show up in 2025. And that is, I shifted some of my lead generation activities to do things more in the line of what I like to do, what really makes me happy, versus chasing a shiny object that, yes, I've been successful in the past on, but I didn't enjoy it. Okay. So hopefully this starts out your Monday with high energy, with intention, with purpose. Be very purposeful with your week. Enjoy a wonderful holiday with your families. Take the time to, really listen to this again, if you could, and put these into action. Because at the end of the day, it's the actions that we take, right? You can listen to all these things, but you've got to implement them. All right. It's always a pleasure to be on here with you on Agent Power Huddle, everybody. Thank you so much for having me today. And keep coming back, keep listening to them back, and go have a wonderful holidays with your family, your friends, and let's launch 2025 together with high inspiration and motivation and high productivity. Have a great week, everybody.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.